Credibility, authority, and influence. These are three words I want you to keep in mind as we progress through this video. Your personal style says a lot about you, and I probably have said that in some shape or form already on my channel. But what I'm trying to break down in this video is how you can take the information you gather from your personal style and have it help you shape your YouTube channel. This video is for the person who is getting ready to start their channel, or you've started but you're looking for more clarity, you're looking for more direction on what kind of content to make, where to go with your channel. And the answer for that could be right in front of you. It could be in the mirror with you wearing an outfit you feel amazing in. And more importantly, with you wearing not more importantly, but with you wearing an outfit that represents you. You want your channel to be a reflection of the brand you are building. Your personal brand is separate from a business brand. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, I'm not trying to be a business owner or build a business and only relate the word brand to in that sense. You have to see yourself as a brand. You have to make yourself a household name here on YouTube. So let's get into this conversation of personal style. A very simple definition of personal style is the way you express yourself to the world through your clothing and your visual appearance. It goes beyond clothing. It includes your hairstyle, your makeup, or how your face looks, and it just includes your overall visual representation. I want to ask you a question. How do you want to be perceived? What do you want people to think of when they see you? When you get to a certain point on your YouTube journey, you do want to keep in mind how you want to be perceived and get dressed, put yourself together in a way that reflects how you want to be perceived, in a way that reflects what you want people to think of you, to think when they see you. When it comes to hearing versus seeing, you can have a great video in terms of the message and the idea and the concept behind the video. It could be amazing. But if you come up on camera in a way that doesn't match your message in some shape or form, or is distracting rather, if it's taking away from your message, people are not going to be focusing on your words. They're going to be focusing on what they see, not what they hear. And I think like this is something you should be mindful of, but I wouldn't, if you're just getting started with your channel, I wouldn't like put too much emphasis on this part, because you gotta really learn how to talk to the camera, even establish a presence on camera first. That's like number one. But when you are ready to just be a bit more intentional, you do want the visual communication to be just as strong as the verbal communication in your content here on YouTube. And if you're asking yourself why, it's because it's a part of building your personal brand. Your personal brand is a part of building your reputation. I feel like for some people, the phrase personal brand is out in the atmosphere. They're not really able to they understand it, but they're not able to connect with it. Does the word reputation hit harder or connect deeper? You are building a reputation here on YouTube. I received some comments on a recent video One comment said, aligning my look with my content type makes me feel happier. Confidence is a non-negotiable. I feel like here on YouTube, you have to have some level of confidence in order to make an impact with your content. You do need confidence. And I feel like what this person was trying to get at with saying aligning my look with my content type makes me feel happier. She's experiencing in is incongruency a word? Okay, so the word that came up is incongruous. Oh, let's see how it's supposed to be said.
Incongruous.
Incongruous. That's a pretty big word. Incongruous. Not in harmony or keeping with the surroundings or other aspects of something. So maybe a different word we could use is not in harmony. So the comment of aligning my look with my content type makes me feel happier. If I could take a moment to break that down, I feel like this person was trying to express something you may have experienced. She or they, I believe this is a woman. For the sake of this moment right here, I'm going to just say she. She prefers when there is not a lack of harmony between the visual communication and the verbal communication. That's what I think this is saying here. Aligning my look with my content type makes me feel happier. If I were to take it a step further, she likes when her visual communication, her aesthetic matches the type of content she wants to create. I have experienced where the feeling of there is a lack of harmony between my outer appearance and how I actually want to show up here on YouTube. And I have been making strides every month to show up here visually in the way I envision in my mind, in the way that reflects how I want to be perceived. And if you're struggling with figuring out who you want to be on YouTube, take a look at your personal style. If your personal style isn't developed, make a mood board. Ideate on your dream wardrobe or figure out the aesthetic that you want to give off in your video. That will give you clues to the type of content that you should be making. And if you're not into fashion, you don't need to be into fashion in order to still maintain some awareness of your visual communication, your appearance, and what that is saying about you to your YouTube audience. I did go over 4 key YouTube personas, and I'm going to put on the screen a graph or table that sums up these 4 personas. Please check out the video that I go deep into like these personas. I give examples of each one, so on and so forth. The link is in the description box. Persona and personality is different, but I use them interchangeably just to use a word that I feel like may be more familiar to you. Personality, right? So there's 4 personalities that you can take a look at and find which one speaks to you. As I mentioned in the video, you can be a mix or a combination of the personalities, but seeing the characteristics, seeing what visuals are usually accompanied, seeing what visuals usually go with each personality can help give you that direction. Well, when it comes to personal style, there's also like style personalities. I got them. I had to really get them. They're style personalities. And a way that you can figure out your style personality is figuring out your 3 words. And I'm going to insert a TikTok from this celebrity stylist. Her name is Allison Bornstein. Maybe you heard of her, maybe you haven't.
Do you have a closet full of clothes but never anything to wear? This series is for you. This is part 1 of my Finding Your Personal Style series. I think that a lot of dissatisfaction and overconsumption comes from not taking the time to understand our style, to look in our closets, to understand what we like and what we want to present to the world. So let's get started with my 3-word method. The 3-word method is essentially just choosing 3 adjectives to describe your current style and or the style that you aspire to have. How do we find these words? First, you need to look in your closet and you need to pull out the things that you are wearing all the time, aka your regulars. These are your go-to pieces. They're not necessarily the things that you love the most, but they are the things that you are constantly grabbing. Throw them on the bed, put them on a rack, and then look at them and ask yourself, how would I describe these pieces? What words would I use to describe the things that I am wearing all the time? You're going to want to look at similarities in silhouettes, in pattern, in print, just in general vibe. So let's say you are pulling out a lot of jeans and t-shirts. Maybe you would go for words like classic or casual, or maybe a lot of the jeans and t-shirts are quite baggy. So maybe another word could be oversized, or maybe you're realizing that you have a ton of flared jeans. Maybe a word would be 70s. So what you're doing is you're just looking at the similarities and you are thinking of words to describe what you are wearing all the time. Don't freak out. We don't have to get this tattooed on our chest. These words evolve as we do. It's just sort of a good baseline and a good starting off point. Also, don't let the fear of getting it wrong prevent you from accessing this. This is just sort of an exercise to help. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so for the 3rd word, I want you to picture what your dream style would be and how would you describe that? So for this, I think it's helpful to sometimes look at Pinterest boards, to look at other people's style you admire, to look at screenshots that you've taken, and then look at all that together and say, how would I describe this? 3rd word is going to help guide you. It's going to be really helpful when you're shopping and really helpful when you are putting together looks. I'm going to talk about that in part 3, but this is just sort of think of this as your North Star. Also, I just want to note that these words do not have to go together. They actually should be quite dissimilar because that's what makes an interesting and dynamic style. So in part 2, I'm going to prescribe the 3 words to some style icons so we can get some examples.
But this is just a introductory framework. But the point I'm trying to make is figure out what your style personality is. Those 4 personas, you can find so many examples of them here on YouTube, right? But your 3 style words are supposed to help you with the process of setting yourself apart. It's supposed to help you make yourself memorable to your viewers, and it's supposed to help you stand out here on YouTube. Choose a persona and then figure out the style in which you want that persona to show up as. Where do you get inspiration for that style? From your personal style. And if your personal style, it just because you choose these 3 words, that doesn't mean I'm trying to put you in a box and limit your personal style to those 3 words, but I'm trying to corral it in a sense so that it can be a place of extraction. So my 3 words are clean, classic, and cool. I may alter them and edit them, but that's how they stand right now. I keep those words in mind when I'm choosing different elements of my brand. I feel like my background with my art pieces and you just coming into my home, like, that's the cool aspect. How I'm like my style, I feel like I have a button down. That's a classic type of style of shirt. 1 second. And like clean, like my haircut is like clean, edgy, cool. Like I just feel like it's coming through in the visuals. But I feel like my style words help me show up being my authentic self. The self, like, I feel like you win with credibility, authenticity, and influence when you show up as who you are. And my style words are helping me show up as who I am. All right, it's another day, but I'm back to finish this video. I want to give you some homework, some actionable steps for you to take after watching this video. I kind of mentioned it already, but I definitely want you to take some time to identify your 3 style words. I'm going to include a list you can kind of choose from to help you. The wheel, the style word wheel that Allison Bornstein created. I will include those resources below, and I also will have a worksheet for you in the description box just as a place if you want to, like where you can do this process at. And if you haven't watched the video on the 4 YouTube personalities, please watch it, and I want you to choose one or a combination of 2 or whatever that you resonate with. Then I want you to use your 3 style words to visualize how that persona would dress and present themselves on camera. Now, in an upcoming video, I'm going to be going over choosing your 3 content pillars for your channel slash the brand you're building here on YouTube, you know. It kind of might sprinkle in choosing 3 words that describe this personal brand that you're building. I don't have the exact specifics, but that is coming up in a video very soon. And eventually we're going to be tying all of this together to really give you, well, let me say, each step that I'm sharing with you is really going to help you craft a cohesive and authentic brand here on YouTube. So please stay tuned, stay locked in with me. We're going to be going through this and building really strong personal brands using our style and everything like that. So I'll see you in an upcoming video. Until next time, bye bye.